Cheers! This is weird. Haven't done this for a long time. Yo guys, today I'm going to actually kind of have a functional vlog. I actually wrote like some notes. May or may not be like 12:30. I may or may not be day drinking in my underwear because I may or may not have gotten hired for my like dream internship today that I've been trying for since sophomore year. So
93.3 WMMR.
I'm really excited, and this mood that I'm feeling, this high that I'm on, completely contrasts with what this vlog John is about today. The other day I was just deeply assessing my life, and I was like, alright, like, shit, I learned a lot of lessons really late that, you know, the consequences were kind of happening all the time. I just wasn't paying attention. So I kind of just was like, I'm so tired of being hurt. I'm so tired of being sad about certain things. Like, I'm gonna get a grasp on my life. And I started to articulate what some of these lessons are that I learned. We're gonna go over a couple, and like they've been coming to me like a lot lately, and I only wrote down 5. But for the sake of brevity, we're gonna stick to those 5 today. These are some lessons that, yeah, pretty much all of them constitute heartbreak and bullshit. The perfect recipe for my life. Anyway, so these are just some things that I wish that I had been paying attention to. I wish that somebody had told me. I wish that somebody had like tied me down and forced me to listen to this and not just ignore them and carry on with my life like I did. Here's to you, Charlie Brown. The first one that I would like to start with, which is heartbreaking to me. Number 1, you cannot love somebody into loving you or into staying. This one kind of learned the hard way. I'm sure that we've all been through this at some point. If someone wants to go, let them go. One person's pulling away and one person's reaching and like begging for love, essentially. The other person has their mind made up about you. So don't sit there and try to sell yourself, and don't try to convince them to love you, and don't try to, if you have to point out the reasons that you're lovable and the reasons they should stay, don't even waste your breath. Spend it on somebody who is going to see those reasons as obvious fact. Don't ever sit there and feel like you got to sell yourself to be loved, because you don't. It should be dead obvious the reasons that you are lovable. Don't waste I'm getting heated, man. But do not change so much of yourself to accommodate someone else. Someone whose love you have to beg and plead for is not someone who is loving you right. Let them leave. Cheers. Number 2, tell people when they hurt you. You need to vocalize your pain sometimes. I mean, of course, you don't want to be starting fights and starting bickerments over every little thing. Like, definitely make it worth it. But if someone is repeatedly doing something to you that is like screwed up and it's toxic to your relationship, like, you got to speak up, because the thing is, you don't always know when you're hurting somebody. It's not always evident to you because we all live in our little bubbles, you know? This is why I took notes, to be articulate. You can't change something you don't know needs changing. Even if you yourself don't always know you've hurt someone, stop letting the BS being sent your way just roll off your back. Take some of the punches, but not the ones aimed at the face. Damn, what a succinct ass way of putting that. I would completely agree with myself. Jesus, I need friends. So what I mean by that is, it's probably obvious, but you know, there's going to be conflict, and there's going to be things that one day you suck and one day she sucks, right? Like, when it's vicious and malicious and fergalicious, you know, when it's kind of crossing that line of like, this isn't what somebody who loves another should be doing, that's when you gotta nix it. Nip it in the butt. That's what I used to think it was. I think it's nip it in the bud, which, whatever. You gotta stand up for yourself. That's really important. And the thing is, like, if the person you're dating or whatever is a good enough person, like, they'll see your concern and they'll try to work with you and they'll try to compromise. Like, that's supposed to be what it's all about. But just make sure you're standing up for yourself. I'm the one laying on the ground to be walked all over. So, like, that's totally my fault. Like, right? Like, I owned up to it. And I started making a change and vocalizing when people were hurting me or disappointing me or upsetting me. Or, like, over time. It wasn't just your nitty gritty, any little thing. It was, like, when it kind of started to pile up. And I started saying something and people were like, wow, like, I really appreciate you taking the time to let me know that there's something that I could be doing better. And I was like, damn straight, like, okay. This opens the opportunity for conversation. So, like, you can be bringing something to your partner and being like, you know, I don't really appreciate when you do this, or maybe can we work on this? And they might have something to offer you too. Like, you're not innocent in this, like, right? Like, we all have things to improve upon. Number 3, if it tastes like poison, it's poison. I was really, like, sleep deprived when I wrote this. Once you start detecting toxicity, remove it from your life the best you can, or make the appropriate adjustments. This is like, I'm like reading a textbook right now. This might mean unfollowing that one person who turns your heart to ice. It's about you, it's not about them. This includes toxic habits, delete triggering music, or find a way to reclaim it as your own, which is kind of something I had to figure out how to do, because I was like, I am not throwing out all this good music because it reminds me of somebody or people. Yeah, this one, just simply put, identify toxicity and delete it. It's not going to get sweeter. It is not going to get sweeter. You're going to sit there and it's just going to wear you down. It will decay you. You just have to get rid of it and find something fresh. Go to new places. Find a new way home. You know, when it comes down to it, like, you're triggering content while you're in a breakup or while you're getting over someone or something like that. Like, you need to get away from it. You will not grow if you let that sit on the surface. The flowers will never come up. We're getting metaphorical here. Number 4, some things are about you and other things are not. You need to be honest with yourself 100%. You need to keep your gauge in check of, like, is this about me or is this not about me? Like, get your head out of your ass, but also pay attention to when you might be the reason that there's a problem, because it very well might be that reason. Try to assess the situation from a neutral standpoint and say, does this situation reflect more upon them and their needs or me and mine? We take things personal all the time, but it's really not always the case. Sometimes it really has nothing to do with you, and you need to accept that and move on. People are so shitty, and it's going to happen. You're going to go through this. I went through it. I will continue to go through it. I hope not. Dear God, please. God, that really is a cliche. It's not you, it's me. But I've said that myself to people before, and I meant every word of it. Like, sometimes it's really not the other person. Sometimes it is really just inside of you and a problem you're experiencing with yourself. Now, it depends what kind of person you're trying to break up with, whether or not they understand that and want to respect your claim. You know, when someone's trying to leave you and you love them and you're trying to, like, rope them into staying, you don't want to hear any of that. You don't want to hear, I don't care if it's you, I'm staying by your side, I was never going to leave, blah, 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 blah. You cannot change that situation. You need to get out for your own health and just let it happen. Take their word for it, okay? And if they're lying about it not being you and it being them, if they were lying about it, then they're just a piece of shit anyway. So either way, it's a lose-lose in the sense of it's a win-win. I'm making a lot of sense today. And number 5, let me end it with this. This one is the only one that's, like, not as much about love. This is, like, almost career-oriented. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to somebody you're not interested in. It's okay to say no to a job opportunity. It's okay to say no to somebody who wants something from you, like a favor. You know, I'd really like it if you could, for free. Don't feel pressured into saying yes all the time and agreeing to everything that comes your way. I mean, if you're not going to have your heart in it and if you don't really care, like, say no. You know, like, there's a way to, like, politely and respectfully decline an opportunity without being an asshole, because it's like, if you agreed to it and then did a really shitty job, then you're an asshole. But, like, if you kind of, you know, respectfully was like, I don't think this is for me, or whatever. I'm actually horrible at wording declinations. Is that a word? Declines? We'll settle with declines. I'm actually, like, horrible myself at, like, being nice at saying no, but nothing's worse than agreeing to something that you actually don't want to do and then being really anxious and stressed about it and then being like, somebody could have done this better than me and enjoyed it more and whatever. So that is just a way to, like, just be honest with yourself in the sense of that. And be honest with the person that's asking you, or meet in the middle somewhere. But much of this has to do with obligations. If you overextend and overschedule yourself, you'll perform far worse, and it will reflect poorly on you. Don't be afraid to push yourself, but don't be afraid to politely and gracefully decline. Yeah, that's it. Oh my God, was I not autofocused that whole time? I kind of just wanted to create something with a little bit of a plan for once, instead of just being like,
I have a lot of coffee in my system and a lot of thoughts that I feel like you really need to listen to.
Because that's normally everything that I create, and it's just junk. After like a week, I'm just like, yo, why did I ever do anything? To people that know me and know things I've been through, this video might sound intensely hypocritical because of like basically me ignoring the same advice my friends have given me and my family have been giving me for a long time. But like, I'm here to say these are things that no one will ever take advantage of me of, and I will never take advantage of myself of. In this sense, I've learned these lessons for good, and we can put a date on it and move forward. After all, that's what this is about, moving forward, right?